I think the Statera Studios folks did a great job with all of like the kind of presentation stuff surrounding Pocket Bravery, and like the iterative design process has been fairly considered and consistent. I remember trying it out when they did their Indiegogo campaign, and there was like, okay, you saw the core of it. All of the core pieces of what Pocket Bravery was right there. And then you were like, I don't know, there's something about the input recognition that's not quite right. There's something about the buffering that's not quite right. The cancel system didn't quite work right. And then it's just like slowly but surely iterating on that. And, right, just ironing out those kinks and like getting it to the point where it was like, oh no, that, like, yeah, nailing that game feel, and then really like solidifying it. It's been good. I think it's still a style of game that not everyone's gonna click with. Like if you're a Marvel player, maybe this isn't the jam for you, but I think if you have some love for the SNK style systems, a lot of Game Boy fighting games molded themselves and used an engine, a fighting game engine that was for SNK games. All of the SNK fighting games on Game Boy shared that engine, and I think you've seen a lot of developers take inspiration from that and use that as their core. And I've seen that kind of flow up into Pocket Bravery. So there's something for you to love if you can appreciate that kind of game. Oh no. Neo. Okay, so yes. When I say the SNK games, I mean also the Neo Geo Pocket games, but I also mean specifically actual SNK Game Boy fighters. They might not be all that good, but I think if you like that, for me, like I was such a I was surprisingly attached to my Game Boy growing up. So I would find all these kind of things, all these kind of games, and get really attached to them. And they might not be the best, but I think some of the ways those games worked, I think some of the combo systems in the Game Boy SNK games in particular, filtered through to the rest of the Game Boy games, and that has like shown some inspiration coming up into the indie scenes for developers like Statera, who heavily SNK obviously, but then like folks like Pocket Rumble, that's what it is. Pocket Rumble is also another game that I played that, and it reminded me of the Game Boy SNK games in particular. It reminded me of Power Quest, right? It reminded me of those kinds of games. I don't know how much that holds true for the actual developer, but best GB fighter, Power Quest, easily. I fucking love that game. It has no right to be as good as it is. Yeah, no, that is the benchmark where I look at mobile games of the era, and I'm like, if you can be even as impressive as Power Quest, that's a win. It's Sunsoft, yeah, of course, right? Yeah, Sunsoft have the fighting game legacy. They have the Game Boy pedigree. They have, a lot of design and development pedigree in that company, right? So, yeah, absolutely.